Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. And I have a remote engine starter kit for my Crosstrek. So, I have already done this on my WRX GT. Unfortunately, I did most of the videoing, but I didn't do the programming, so I'm gonna at least do that and have this on the video for y'all so you can see what to do. It's really not that hard. The first time it took me like 2 hours, but I was doing it really slow. So basically what's gonna happen, I'm gonna come in here real quick. First things first is we'll get the tools needed. Obviously a Phillips head, 10 millimeter, and you need something to cut the wires at the end. And obviously an SSM4 or something like an AutoFix IM1. What we're gonna do first is we will unscrew this bad boy and kind of bring it up over here and just hold it against that. That'll take all the negative energy out. All the lights will go away. Yeah, so I won't be able to see stuff. That's why I got this headlamp on. So basically what'll then happen is I'll come over here. We're going to eventually take this part off, but we're going to come down here. We're going to push this in and this in, and then we're going to pull this in, and this will just whole thing will just fall down, right? So in fact, actually, while I have the lights on and everything, it would probably be quicker for me to go ahead and just do what I need to do until I get ready to actually remove stuff. So give me 1 second and I'll just do that, and then I'll do the battery. But don't y'all do that, because you're going to forget. I won't. All right, everyone. So as you can see, you pull this part out, pops it down there and there. Kind of did scratch a little bit there, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna move this to the outside, give myself some room. All right. So next we have screws there, screws there, screws there. We have screw there and screw there. So yeah, we got to unscrew that. But then before we pull that out, we obviously then got to pull this off with a pry tool, then pull this piece out. So give me 1 second to unscrew all that real quick. All right, so you're going to want to have a little pry tool and just kind of push in here, and then you can kind of pull this guy up and out. Has a bottom piece down here too, so you kind of want to do the same thing there and just kind of pry it loose. You can probably pull down. So give me a second. I lost my, I didn't lose it, but I left my holder for my phone. So I'm doing this with one hand. So it's kind of hard, but let me pause this for a second and I'll come back right back. All right, so all I really needed to do was get right there. I just didn't have the hands to do it. So I did that, boom, that comes off. Just be wary. With my WRX, I actually broke that one, the inside of that, so just kind of be careful. So I'm gonna put that up here. So next would be to then get a pry tool and probably pry this off, but this should pop off, but let me get a pry tool and try to pry this off. All right, so I kind of went underneath right here, and then once I did that, that basically just popped straight up out. You just got these little pressure clips. You just kind of got to be gentle and pull that out. So give me a second to get this one. I don't want to screw it up. All right, so I went back underneath here and was able to just kind of pull it down and kind of go that way with it. So next, this is where I just need to then take this screw out because that was not seen. So give me 1 second to do that. All right, as you can see, I got it out. There's this guy right here, you just kind of pull, and this guy you kind of pull. All right, so this is the light to inside of here. So at this point, before I go any further and start just unpulling stuff, I am actually going to disconnect the battery, and then I'll show y'all some more stuff. All right, show you an example. This little guy, took him off of this. and he's over there like that. So just so you have an example of what you're looking for. I should have probably done that ahead of time, but it was really easier having more light to do what I did, because I did this once before in this same lighting situation, because I'm doing this at night. Because it's winter and I don't get much daytime until the weekends, and I just don't know if I'll be able to do this weekend. I really want this done now. So one moment, I'm going to take this off and I'm going to show you what we're about to put on here. All right, everyone. So obviously it says Legacy Outback, whatever harness. It's all the same. It works. So I'm going to show you where this goes inside of there in a minute. This is what we kind of need next. As you see from the instructions, which I'll post when I put this video online. But basically, I need to get the rubbing alcohol out. I completely forgot. Rubbing alcohol in a little cloth, which I have over here, and you just clean this area, and then basically place it down, and then you zip tie it, and then you come in here, and I'll show you where that's at to cut that loose, and then let that out. And there's another piece that basically you take off that then this loops around and goes. It's like, wow, why didn't they just add this to begin with? Anyways, hold please. All right, everyone. Hope you can see this pretty well. Sorry I'm not pulling this out, but I've got something already attached to here. So basically, I'm just going to place this guy down here. So this guy came with like all these different little adhesives, and so it's going to look something like this. All right. Sorry, I'm so sorry this is at nighttime, guys, but this is really the best I can do. I just don't get a lot of time in a day. So yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna like just do all this myself, and then I'll start back filming again. All right, so as you see, it's gonna go like this. So we're gonna just get it in there like such. Make sure it's in there well. And then they say to hold it down for about 30 seconds. So give me 1 second. Looks like it's in there pretty well. Yeah. All right, give me just a second here. I'm gonna hold this for 30 seconds. All right, everyone, so now that that's on there, I haven't zip tied it, but I will zip tie it in a second. The next thing is to cut those off and open all this up. So let me zip tie that guy. All right, so I got that in here. So now I just need to get this around it. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna try my best. So basically, the two things in pink, you just need to get some like wire cutters or something, and I got something I'm gonna cut that with, and it's really, like they've already done it really tight. Like, but actually, do I even need to pull that? No, it's tied around. Yeah, if you look right here, it's tied around that, so it's just a pain in the butt. So give me a moment, I'll get all that undone. All right, everyone, so I finally got it down. It was kind of in like this. So now this piece will attach to the adapter, this guy. So we should be able to, I think it's like this. Yeah, it's the other way. Yeah, give me a second, I'll get it in there. Okay. All right, so now as you can see, this is all that's really left, is connecting this guy to this, which I guess I need to take that off. Didn't realize I still left that on there. Luckily for me, I got some good old wire cutters for it. So give me a second, I'll, can I? Here we go. So now that's gone. We can put this guy in like this. All right, so now when you get ready to put everything back, like this guy, don't forget this guy. So what they do suggest now is to take this, kind of put it up against here and go all the way, and I probably wasn't really supposed to connect that just yet, but go all the way up against this to where it comes down there. So give me just a second, and I'm gonna get all that done and tidied up. That's why they give you the extra, I think, like 4 different zip ties. So one thing to note that's different on this model than my WRX. This part had like some loop around that went up in here, so it's kind of a little bit different. Not sure why, but just thought I'd bring that out. All right, everyone, if you can see, it only needs 3, so 1, 2, 3. Comes down on the side here, connects there. We're going to connect this back, and then we're just going to pop this guy back in, and then we're going to start screwing it back up, and that'll be basically it besides programming it. All right, so I got that snap back on. Next part will be to just screw that, and then the remaining screws I have on, and then snap everything else back on, and then we'll program. All right, so as you can see, I got all the screws back in. So the next piece would be to put this guy back in, and then this guy back in. So we should be able to kind of just go in like this and snap it in. So give me a second, I'm gonna do that. I don't wanna mess it up or anything. Yeah, just kind of start over here and get it in, and then you can get one of these in. You just kind of keep pushing it in and it'll go. Next would be to get this guy. Put him back. Then the last piece is to add that. So give me 1 second, because that's in my back seat. And now it's back on, so I just really slid that up, and then I'll just push that back in. So now, I didn't do it right. Give me a second here. All right, so I got it fixed, got it going back all together again. So give me a second here, we're gonna go back over to the iPad. I wanna see what the rest of the instructions say. So I reconnected everything. I need to put the under the hood warning label, which is whatever. Then I need to reconnect the battery. So give me 1 second, let me do that. I'll have to then at least start the vehicle at least one time using the access key prior to activating this. And then, all right. So give me a second here. All right, everyone, important. Obviously gotta have that back. So that's done. Now I just need to close the hood. I got my keys with me. We'll have to start the car once, and then we'll go from there. All right, everyone, so I've cranked it up, it started, airbag went off like it said to. So next is I'm gonna have to program it with the remote control. So give me just 1 second to get my auto fix set up on this, and we'll go from there. All right, so I apologize, you're gonna hear my dog in the background probably bark, but this shows you it's not programmed. So if I do double click, it's gonna do it 4 times. All right, so it's not gonna work. I can't do the 1, 2, and just hold. That's not gonna work either. See, it's not gonna work. So give me a moment, I'm gonna get back in the car. We're gonna program this guy real quick, and I'm gonna show you how. All right, so I'm back in the car. This is my AutoFix IM1 that I just got. Got it on sale, I'll link it below in the description. If you get it right now on holiday times or whenever there's like a holiday, there's usually a sale. Got this at Walmart for like $619. To me, it's worth it, especially when I was quoted $1,285 for this Crosstrek. And I also did a WRX GT like yesterday or whatever it was. So IM1, go here, we're gonna accept this. Then all you gotta do is just go to your manufacturer. Also, you gotta make sure this VCI is connected. That's how you connect everything via the Bluetooth. So we're gonna go Subaru, that's this car, because it's a Crosstrek, obviously. Okay, so we are going to do manual selection. I feel like it was just a lot easier for me to do this. And I did America. That's where I'm at. I did Crosstrek 2022, Smart Key. And then we want to do yes. Control unit, keyless system. remote control learning, remote engine start registration. Ignition's on, hit OK. It's going to do its thing. It's going to pop up something to hit start. Yes. Success, executing, learn complete. Okay, that's it. So I should be good to go now. So give me a second here. I'm gonna pause this, get out of the car, get the keys, and we're gonna test it. All right, everyone. So I got out of the car, I just locked it. So we're gonna do 3 and then hold. There we go, buddy. Remote start with the fob. Now I can press and hold that to stop, or I can also do the actual fob built in and just hold it. And that'll stop it. And then I can go, or so yeah, there we go. We are good to go. And now I have remote start in my car for way less than it should have cost. Actually, I got it in 2 vehicles. So yeah. With that being said, nice to stop that. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope some people have learned how to do this themselves, and it's definitely not worth the $600 I was going to be charged to do this. So, if you liked this video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe, because I got more in plan. I got more in store. Excuse me. I want to look at making these fold when I lock the doors. I got some other stuff. Anything that's off the other trims that can be pushed in here, I'm looking into it. Sorry that you can kind of see me like this, but I had to take off my hoodie because I was getting kind of sweaty. So anyways, thanks again for watching this. Subi out.